Friends, have you noticed one thing? Whenever there's a big problem or controversy surrounding the Duggar family, suddenly someone appears and pulls everyone's attention in a different direction. And honestly, that's exactly what seems to have happened this time too. Today, we're talking about Jed Duggar. So, why did Jed suddenly return to Instagram right now? Do you really think this is just a coincidence? Because people on social media are already saying that the timing feels a little too perfect. In today's video, I'm going to show you the bigger game that some viewers believe is happening behind Jed's comeback. Is the Duggar family trying a new form of damage control? And trust me, some of the theories and reactions online are wild enough to make you stop and think, wait, was all of this planned in advance? So stay with me until the very end, because halfway through this video, I'm going to mention one point that might completely change the way you look at this situation. And once you hear it, you may end up saying, wow, I never thought about it like that before. Alright friends, let's unravel this mystery together. Jed Duggar is back on social media, but instead of focusing on her sweet Mother's Day message for Katie, a lot of Duggar followers are asking a completely different question: why now? Because with the timing of everything happening around the family, many people online believe the post may have been about more than simply celebrating Mother's Day. And honestly, it's interesting. The Duggar family has spent years under public scrutiny, and now almost every public move they make gets analyzed in a totally different way than it did back during the 19 kids and counting era. What's really remarkable is that even a simple Instagram post from one of the Duggar kids can suddenly become part of a much larger conversation about image, reputation, and public relations strategy. Now, on the surface, Jed's post looked completely normal. She shared a smiling family photo with Katie, thanked her for being a wonderful mother, and kept the tone warm and positive. Nothing dramatic, nothing openly controversial. Honestly, if you didn't know the history surrounding the Duggar family, you probably would have scrolled past the post without thinking twice about it. But longtime followers don't look at Duggar posts in isolation anymore. They look at the timing. They analyze the wording. They pay attention to what else is happening around the family at that exact moment. And that's exactly why this Mother's Day tribute is suddenly getting so much attention. Around the same time, the Duggar family was already trending online because of recent headlines and discussions involving the family, especially surrounding Joseph Duggar. Fans and critics were already debating the family's public image. So when Jed suddenly returned online with a polished, family-focused post, some viewers immediately saw it as strategic. Now, to be fair, there's absolutely no proof that Jed posted with any secret PR agenda. That's important to say. Celebrities post during holidays all the time. Mother's Day is one of the most common things people post about online. Jed may simply have wanted to celebrate Katie publicly. And honestly, that's completely possible. But the reason people are questioning it is because the Duggar family has spent years carefully managing public perception. And now, because of that history, viewers interpret almost everything they do through a different lens. Back during the family's peak television years, the Duggar brand was built around positivity, discipline, faith, and family milestones. Weddings, births, pregnancies, anniversaries, gender reveals. All of these moments became part of the family's public image machine. Every happy event reinforced the image they wanted viewers to see. And that matters, Because once audiences become aware of image management, they start wondering whether every public moment is emotional or strategic. And with the Duggars, viewers have become extremely aware of that dynamic over the years. Honestly, I think that's one reason Jed's post created such a reaction. Because this probably wouldn't have happened with most influencers or reality TV families. People now expect there to be something deeper beneath the surface whenever the Duggars post online. Even Jed's caption caught people's attention. Many followers pointed out how polished and carefully written it sounded. Again, nothing inappropriate, nothing shocking, but online debates quickly started over whether the caption felt genuinely personal, or whether it sounded more brand safe. At first, that may sound overly critical, but that's the reality of being a public family in today's internet culture. When your life becomes content for years, audiences begin analyzing the sincerity behind every word. Some followers defended Jed immediately. They argued that people were overthinking a simple Mother's Day tribute. And honestly, that's a fair point too. Not every family photo is a distraction tactic. Not every Instagram post is designed to calm controversy. Sometimes a husband simply posts about his wife because it's Mother's Day. But other viewers argued that the timing felt too convenient. They pointed out that Duggar's social media activity often seems to increase whenever criticism surrounding the family becomes intense. And from there, the conversation grew much larger than Jed herself. People started debating what they call the Duggar strategy. The idea that wholesome family content may sometimes be used to redirect attention away from controversy. Now again, this is mostly online interpretation and public speculation. It's important not to present theories as proven facts. But the discussion itself matters because it shows how dramatically public trust in the Duggar image has changed. A few years ago, many viewers accepted the family's public image very easily. Today, audiences question almost everything. And that's important, because once viewers begin assuming every public appearance is staged, rebuilding trust becomes incredibly difficult. Especially for reality TV families. Because when it comes to reality television, authenticity is everything. What makes Jed's situation especially interesting is her unique role within the Duggar family. Unlike some siblings who completely stepped away from the spotlight, Jed has often appeared more comfortable being public. People remember the interviews, the political campaigns, and the way she remained visible even while other family members stayed quiet. Because of that, many viewers now see Jed as one of the Duggar sons most comfortable acting as the public face of the family. And honestly, that probably creates pressure. A lot of pressure. When a family spends years surrounded by controversy, someone often becomes an unofficial spokesperson, even without officially taking on that role. For Jed, every public post now carries extra weight because audiences view her as someone helping maintain the family image. And that's fascinating, because the Duggar sons were raised in a culture where public presentation mattered deeply. Family unity mattered deeply, reputation mattered deeply, and within highly structured religious environments, public behavior can become strongly connected to personal responsibility. So when viewers ask, why did Jed post this now? They're really asking something bigger. They're asking whether members of the Duggar family feel pressure to constantly protect the family image. And that opens a much larger conversation. Another thing viewers noticed was how polished and cheerful the photos looked. Bright outdoor lighting, smiling family moments, calm energy, and again, this is extremely normal for Instagram. But critics argue the aesthetic felt very intentional. And honestly, almost everyone curates social media these days. Influencers do it, celebrities do it, reality TV personalities do it. People naturally choose what version of their lives they want to share. The difference is that the Duggar family's image is already tied to years of controversy, so audiences interpret even ordinary content differently. And context changes perception. A family photo from an unknown person feels simple and harmless. But a family photo from a controversial reality TV family suddenly feels symbolic, whether they intended it or not. Another part of the discussion centered around Katie herself. Some viewers felt bad that a Mother's Day tribute became overshadowed by larger Duggar controversies. And honestly, that reaction is understandable too. Compared to the intensity surrounding the Duggar name, Katie has generally seemed quieter and more private. Yet the moment she married into this family, even ordinary social media posts became part of a massive internet discussion. And I think that's one of the hidden downsides of being connected to a famous reality TV family. Normal moments stop feeling normal. Mother's Day posts become PR analysis. Family photos become brand management. Captions become strategic messaging. That level of constant scrutiny must be exhausting. At the same time, critics argue that the Duggar family helped create this environment through years of carefully controlled storytelling. And this is where public opinion becomes divided. Some people believe the family deserves close scrutiny because of their influence in history. Others think viewers now overanalyze literally everything they do. Honestly, both perspectives probably exist at the same time. One especially interesting reaction online came from viewers comparing Jade's social media behavior to that of other Duggar siblings. Over the years, different members of the family have handled fame very differently. Some became private, some leaned into influencer culture, some completely distanced themselves from Duggar messaging, and others still appear committed to maintaining the traditional Duggar image. In the eyes of many viewers, Jade falls into that last category. That's why her return to Instagram grabbed attention so quickly. It wasn't just, "Oh, Jade posted." It became, "What does this mean right now?" And honestly, that says a lot about the current state of the Duggar brand online. Because the family is no longer viewed simply as reality TV personalities. Now people see them through the lens of scandal history, media strategy, religion, family dynamics, and reputation management. That creates an environment where every public move feels symbolic. Another interesting aspect here is how social media algorithms influence behavior today. A lot of people overlook this part. Influencers and celebrities understand that positive engagement helps visibility online. Happy family content performs well. Holiday posts especially tend to generate supportive comments and interaction. So even without some giant hidden master plan, there's naturally pressure to post uplifting content during periods of public negativity. And that matters, because internet culture itself encourages that behavior. Posting during controversy doesn't automatically equal manipulation. Sometimes it simply means trying to maintain engagement during difficult moments. And honestly, most public figures do this to some degree. The reason the Duggars receive extra scrutiny is because viewers already associate them with carefully managing their image. I also think there's another layer people don't discuss enough. The pressure placed specifically on the Duggar boys to project stability. Within the family's traditional belief system, men are often expected to lead publicly, protect the family's reputation, and appear strong. Those cultural expectations likely influence how they behave online. When chaos surrounds the family publicly, there may be an instinct to reinforce images of unity, normalcy, and stability. That doesn't necessarily mean dishonesty, but it does mean public posts can carry symbolic meaning beyond just the caption itself. And audiences recognize that. One reason this story spreads so quickly is because modern audiences are extremely media aware. People understand PR language now. They recognize timing tactics. They understand reputation management patterns, especially after years of influencer culture and celebrity branding online. So even if Jed's post came from a sincere place, viewers are still interpreting it through that larger media-savvy perspective. What strikes me most is how impossible it may now be for the Duggar family to post, normally, online anymore. A few years ago, they could upload a smiling family picture without suspicion. Now every smile gets analyzed. Every caption gets dissected. Every upload becomes part of a much larger narrative war online. That's a huge shift, and honestly, I think it shows how permanently the family's public image has changed. Public reaction to Jed's post was very mixed. Supporters praised the tribute and said critics should stop attacking every single Duggar action. Some commenters called the backlash unfair and exhausting. Others argued the timing simply couldn't be ignored. Some viewers even joked that whenever Duggar headlines became negative, wholesome family content suddenly appeared online again. Now again, these are public reactions, not confirmed motives. But the consistency of these comments shows how audiences interpret the family's behavior today. And online perception is often almost as powerful as reality itself. Another fascinating thing is how quickly conversations shifted away from Mother's Day and toward Duggar image strategy. That tells you something important. Viewers no longer emotionally consume Duggar content the way they once did. Now they analyze it more than they enjoy it. And that changes the entire relationship between influencer and audience, especially for a family with such a long reality TV history. There's also a generational shift happening here. Modern social media audiences are far more skeptical than reality TV audiences from the early 2000s. Today, viewers expect transparency. They question overly polished presentations. They actively search for inconsistencies. And families built around highly controlled branding often struggle in that environment. The Duggars became famous during a completely different media era. Today's internet culture operates very differently. That may be why even relatively harmless posts can now trigger intense debate. And right at the center of all this is Jed herself, trying to balance public visibility, family loyalty, personal identity, and constant audience scrutiny all at once. Honestly, the situation is probably more complicated than most people realize. Because no matter what she posts, someone will criticize it. If she stays silent, people speculate. If she posts positively, people call it a distraction. If she directly addresses controversy, criticism intensifies even more. That's the reality of belonging to a highly public family in 2026. And honestly, I think this pressure explains why so many Duggar family members seem distant online now. When audiences analyze every move, public engagement becomes emotionally risky. Still, Jed's Mother's Day post clearly accomplished one thing. It got people talking about Jed Duggar again. Whether intentional or not, the post temporarily shifted attention back toward a softer, family-centered image. And that's exactly why the timing debate became so heated online. Critics believe these moments are no longer accidental. Fans believe viewers have become far too skeptical to accept normal family interactions anymore. And honestly, the truth may exist somewhere in the middle. At the end of the day, nobody truly knows Jed's personal motivations from a single Instagram post. Nobody outside the family can know that. But this situation reveals just how much the Duggar family's public image has changed over time. A simple Mother's Day tribute is no longer viewed as just a tribute. Now it becomes a discussion about branding, loyalty, controversy, reputation management, and public pressure. And honestly, that may be the most important part of this entire story. Because whether people support or criticize the Duggars, one thing is clear: audiences no longer see this family the way they once did during the peak reality TV years. Now, history follows every post. And for Jed Duggar, that means even a smiling return to Instagram can quickly transform into a debate about strategy, timing, criticism, and the impossible challenge of maintaining a family image in public. And trust me, there's still more to this story. But before we continue, let me say something quickly. No matter how busy or exhausted I get during the day, whenever I sit down to make Duggar videos for you guys, honestly, I forget all my tiredness. It genuinely feels like I'm just hanging out with friends. And I really hope these videos bring at least a little joy into your day too. Because at the end of the day, this connection we've built here matters. Alright, let's not waste any more time. Let's look at what happened next. Jed Duggar recently returned to social media after the arrest of her brother, Joseph Duggar, and used the occasion to wish her wife Katie a happy Mother's Day. In her first social media post since Joseph's arrest, Jed shared a tribute on Instagram on Sunday, May 10th. She wrote, "Happy Mother's Day to my beautiful wife Katie. Our children couldn't have asked for a better mother. Watching you love Truett, Nora, Emma, and Elsie so well makes me love you even more." Alongside a smiling family photo, Jed added, "I'm grateful every day for you and the life we're building together. We all love you so much." In the comments section, Jed's sister-in-law Hannah Duggar also responded, writing, "Happy Mother's Day, Katie." Hannah, of course, married Jed's brother Jeremiah Duggar back in 2022. Meanwhile, Joseph Duggar's own social media history has also resurfaced online following his arrest. Just months before Jed's post, Joseph, now 31 years old, was arrested over allegations involving the sexual assault of a 9-year-old victim during a family vacation in Florida. The alleged victim is now 14 years old. According to a press release from the Bay County Sheriff's Office, Joseph faces charges involving sexual assault of a victim under 12 years old, as well as lewd and lascivious conduct by an adult. Joseph has pleaded not guilty to all charges. He was later released on a $600,000 bond in March and has since reunited with his wife, Kendra Duggar. According to court documents obtained by Us Weekly, the alleged victim reportedly told investigators during a forensic interview that Joseph had committed multiple incidents of sexual assault. At the time, Joseph was reportedly 25 years old, while Kendra was pregnant with their third child. The couple currently shares 4 children together. The affidavit also stated that the alleged victim described feeling uncomfortable and confused during the incidents. According to the documents, she later claimed Joseph apologized for his actions and that the incidents eventually stopped afterward. Joseph and Kendra Duggar were last publicly seen together in Jed Duggar's holiday video before Joseph's arrest became public. More recently, Joseph's legal team reportedly filed motions requesting access to records connected to the investigation. According to court filings, his attorneys asked a Florida court to allow interviews with officers connected to the Department of Children and Families, Big Bend, and the child protection team involved in the case. The legal filing also stated that Joseph's attorneys reserve the right to interview additional law enforcement or child protection agencies connected to the investigation, including agencies outside Florida, particularly in Arkansas. His legal team is also reportedly seeking access to evidence collected during the child protection investigation. According to the filing, the defense argued that Joseph is entitled to witness testimony, documents, and other evidence necessary to fairly determine guilt or innocence at trial. At the time, requests for comment were reportedly made to Joseph's legal team.